Toemelamolweni, assalamualaikum, laat die kapenaars en die josters voorbijkom. Welcome to another smacktastic episode of the Bushi podcast. Joining with me is my lovely co-hosts.
Hello everybody, it's Kaylee here, and I'm also joined by my lovely co-host.
What's up? What's heaping happening? What's popping? Check the drip. It's the one and only yellow bone Dimpie Dimpopo. Laat is in mayonaise. Maak leeg wat vol is. Maak vol wat leeg is. Ons is Bushi nie. Ons is Bushi.
Hey,
man.
With us today, we literally have colored royalty. This is someone whose career has spanned 2 decades. Longer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's about...
This is about?
2002.
About 2002. So we're looking at about 22 years of experience in the limelight. From Coca-Cola pop stars all the way up to your most recent endeavor of on a starring role in an amazing colored drama called Spinners. So what I want to know is, first of all, who is Ernest St. Clair?
Firstly, I want to say thank you for having me.
Amen.
And thank you for that gevaarlijke introduction. I think you guys have been doing amazing things as well. And I think the respect is mutual. For me, it's like Ernest, what Ernest represents is Saint Clair represents is basically a lighty from Louw.
Oh, yes.
That come from nothing. That has made something of himself. And is still going to make much more, and represent his community to the fullest. That's what it means.
Beautiful.
Beulah.
Off screen, Kaylee mentioned Lotus is literally light bringer, right?
Like Saint Clair is the bearer of
Saint
light.
Clair is the bringer of light.
Yes, give us clarity, please.
Oh, yes.
So die tattoo is die Saint Clair.
Okay.
Het lijkt zoals Mother Mary.
Oh, yes.
But in fact is het, ik weet niet welke ik
A cobra. It's snake.
Het kan een snake ook wees. Hoe je het aankijkt, verstaan ze.
Anaconda.
But basically zit die lightberen, maar ze is ook die innovatieve gecreëerd, verstaan ze.
Yes.
Soos kinda subliminal. Die ene is die Sang Kang, Monkey King.
Yes.
Maar ze is zo Louw is er wat niks te doen met hij.
Oh, nee, ik heb misgehoord. Mijn oren was in die verkeerde conversation daar.
Louw is er kijk, Louw is er waar ik groot geworden heb.
Yes.
En ik denk, als we nou kijken wat gebeurt in Spinners en in mijn background. Hij was actually waar alles hij begint het, wat ik gezien heb. So ik kan gedroomd van hem. Especially like my characters in Arends Vlei. Wat ik gespeeld heb is totally different characters. En Kratoe is basically oor die Khoisan nasie. That was a totally different character wat ik daar gespeeld heb. So daar, die fact dat ik van Louw erover afgekomen het, kan ik basically die gedepicted het in een kwaai way, man.
Oh, nice.
In een sense van my experience. As ek dink ek kyk soos ons college of Bushi soos julle sê. Ons actually is almal dieselfde. Maar ons praat net 'n bietjie different. So kyk die Joburg julle mos. Away my hond. Sê alright, ek is na my hond in die Kaap en is my bro, salute, is alright.
Salutas.
As jy weer in die Durban ko, as dit weer like a move.
What kind, my bro?
Hey my bro, let's is vibe pose ek sê.
Vibe pose, yeah.
Let's vibe pose. Let's have a bunny chow ek sê. Just you know what is put out for you, But in actual fact ons almal het een trade, man.
Yes.
That's een trade.
How we do things.
So it's a beautiful thing. En ek dink haar wil relate die mense so mooi met Spinners ook. You know? Alles het 'n Cape Town story, al die college kan en al die Bushi soos julle sê kan.
We've all dabbled in or rather watched the spin.
Ja, kan basically relate, you know. So anyway, Louw is waar ek groot geword het. Daar is die, kyk die plekke wat jy nie wil gaan nie, soos Lavender Hill, Louw
Is it possible? Vat ons terug na Lotus, né?
Ja.
Vat ons terug na Lotus toe.
Ja.
That, like, how can I say, before, like, after everything that you just mentioned now, van het begin het, wanneer het jy geken om te sê, jy wil die doen, jy wil act, jy wil 'n stripper is of iets soos. Take
male
us back to that,
prostitute.
like school-wise, because I know I've been at Missouri, I've been at Nansville Primary School.
Ek ken nie die plek in die borough.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, as a reference, you understand? So I just wanted to find out, take us through that journey as yourself, not being an actor, but die man wat jy is voor die acting even
Ja.
begin het.
Kyk,
What
die
inspired you?
ja, ek dink hy is my die foundation is baie sterk gelê, man. In actual fact die hoe kan ek nou sê die full circle met die storie van Spinnershoek. Ek het actually daar crash gegaan in Lewendeel.
Nice.
By 'n plek 'n crash was Louw Foundation.
You stayed in Lewendale.
So I didn't stay in Lewendeel at that time. I always stayed in Grassy Park, which is close, and in Lotus River. And
Sound like a suburbs.
Nee,
Far from it.
Yeah.
nee, veel van het, bro. Die suburbs is like
Kaylee.
nee, nooit nie. Die suburbs is soos jou plekke soos Plumstead, you know, later soos jy mos nou opkom,
Opgroeien.
kan sy uittrek en sulke goede. But anyway, coming back to the fact, that was like a full circle vir my om actually, ek het aan haar crash gegaan. En hier skiet ons die movie. So, die is ook 'n prevalent part, my matron, wat die president van die crash gewees het. Ek dink die exposure wat sy my altyd gegee het, was like die shows, man. Wat ek doen. Dus Michael Jackson, ek het al Michael Jackson geïmpersonate van
Nice.
van 4 oud af. Verstaan jy?
So you could say from
Crash.
crash age already.
From crash age.
That was where the creativity bug bit you.
Exactly.
So it started with dancing and then.
En in fact, al is jy nog altyd in 'n environment van die gangsters, gang
Still in your
violence.
dreams.
Sy sien prostitution, sy sien drugs, sy sien. Kyk, soos my eerste recollection, ek dink was by dieselfde tyd wat ek al klaar gesien het when I already saw people like pangas. En sy check is 'n movie, sy mos 'n light, sy staan na like
Jy hoor glad agter die feit aan.
en sy weet jy weet hoe skree kan ek vir ons aan. So verstaan sy en sy check is die 'n movie, wat is die?
Ek wou eendag parte van die is.
Alright.
So touch it, just leave it.
Los dit so ook cool. But sy check like is die 'n movie wat sy in is en you don't really get it until you grow up, you know. En dan sien sy meer goed, dan sien sy hoe broers in die kop geskiet word. Jou chommies is 'n is 'n
You've experienced that, like,
een is 'n American. Like by was my bra se my een bra wat het nou het
in military see that lady man.
My bra het 2 jaar actually nie 'n jaar gelede dink ek het dit pos moet gekom. So die funnieste ding is sorry man. Die funnieste ding is we grew up together when we were about 13. So I was always been in the arts, but when I went to high school, that is also when I knew I was going to do what I was going to do. Because my parents,
Encourage you.
not just that, they knew I was, ek is altyd die class clown, ek was altyd,
To be busy.
ja, ek was altyd, you know. En toe sê hulle, ek is dankbaar, alle toe sy baie gehet die, we never had much. There was enough, but we never had much. They made a conscious choice to send me to an art school.
Something that not
Were
a
you
lot of
ever-
colours get.
Yeah.
You know, watching
En ek
watching
dink
these
meestal-
movies now play out in front of you, this gang violence, the you know the were you ever tempted or pressured into that life, or was arts your only option?
I think arts was always stronger. Jy's mos altyd kind of affiliated mos man. Because it's a new environment. So die funkies ken jou, hoe Ernest St was 'n number. Verstaan jy so 'n move. But jy het you had the moral compass to know, of course. You could
What's right,
see
what's wrong.
and I mean you could see where that is going to end up.
Yeah, I seen that one too far at you.
You know what I mean? And then it's like
It's just
you,
like
you know that this magnet is calling you more than anything, you know, the arts. So yeah, that's how that bug put me already from 4 years old. You know what I mean?
So, on your journey being a Ernest St. Clair,
Oh, yeah.
from where you come from, obviously in our communities we know there's a lot of, how can I say, like, een broer maak het, die
Ons
anders
Mike's
maak het
found
die.
it.
Yo. Een broer maak het, die ander broer maak het, die nou gaan hulle nie vir hom, like, yo, they won't like embrace him around these parts, around where he's from anymore because you are doing better than them. Have you ever like faced that with the people back home? Or if you ever, you always had the support of
But like
the
jealousy
people
or
around you?
envy or iets te say.
You know what I think as your career goes on, that distance kind of happen
Yeah.
subliminally. Because I think it's not a thing that you change. People always think you change. Maar soos julle, het is nog altijd dezelfde persoon. So you weet, soos hulle sê, just the
Difference is
number.
they change.
Just the number, yeah, just the number on the range change.
They change
But
on
it's
you.
like-
They change on you. That's the.
But it's like, no, and it's not also that in a negative to actually say negative things about.
Sometimes you outgrow certain people, man.
Straight.
That's one, but also the fact of, I think it's a thing of, they don't know how to approach you anymore. So nou in hulle mind dink hulle,
Yo, you beter.
oh nee, ek kan nie meer saam met hom praat of ek kan nie saam met Kaylee praat of ek,
Yeah, that's what they think, their perception about
But
you.
in actual fact is it like, sy's nog altyd dieselfde bra.
Broers man, salutas.
But answering your question, I think subliminally, that kind of, it just happens subliminally. You know what I mean? I think in your
understand.
community, we don't live in a fairy tale world where we can say there's no one that's not gonna like you. It's like more money, more problems.
Straight.
So you have to be. It's like the yin and the yang. I look at life like that. I think when you're young, because I was really blessed and I'm grateful to have done this as a teen. But I think you guys can attest to this as well. That where you just like, that comes with the territory.
Exactly.
But the good outweighs the bad. You know what I mean? The positives build you up more. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's my.
You know, Ernest, sorry to jump, like,
Thanks for that question.
no problem, Ernest. Yeah, well, as we have in Joburg, you know, they put up water on almost a day.
What is it?
Going back quickly, man, I just want to revisit it again, Meneer. See, this is just some advice and stuff that I always tell people, especially in my career. Kijk, jy's langer as my in die game, man. Ek is spare ouer as Meneer C.
Ik zie jou in music videos nou. No?
Remember, I'm a white guy.
Oh,
Do most of the
man.
things that happens. Ek gaan on properties nou een van die man. Morgen is een van die man. Ek moet morgen naar die meeting toe gaan. So, now coming back to that fact of when you said when you born into such society or community with in terms of the drugs, the gangsterism and goed to say. Just for someone that's watching, especially coming from me, and I can't say it enough and goed to say. Owens, especially Owens, you see already what's happening outside when it comes to drugs, gangsterism and goed soos hy. Hoekom sê hy nog steeds wil hy trend gaan follow? You understand? Because if you look at it, ons almal het 24 hours. I'm not saying our mindsets is different, right?
I think that's what it is.
Our mindset is different. Maar as ek sien hulle het vir Jomo gister doodgeskiet, gaan ek nog wel 'n gun gaan lê by ook en dieselfde ding gaan doen. And I think that's where, especially colored people, and I'm talking from community, ons doen goede om ander mense te wys ons kan het beter doen. Wat roep hulle daai ranke, né? Ek het 'n rank, hulle het jou ankel laasweek doodgemaak, nou wil jy ook nou sommer 'n gangster raak nou sommer.
Ja, kijk, sommige weet psychologically. Ik leek om goed te psychologically aan te kijken ook. Sommige weet.
Because you grew,
We can't really judge also because in actual fact, I'm also experience what you say is different.
it's different.
So nou, daar is maybe een ding van, ik moet dit doen because mijn familie suffer. Ik moet dit doen because ik moet cool wees. Ik moet dit doen because ik wil een paar Jordans hê.
And Cape Town is mostly exposed to those kind of things, né?
Yeah, which is kind of sad. Because kijk, die mensen denken het gaat niet over gangsters, maar het gaat much deeper.
It's about internal problems we face ourselves that we think of through portraying ourselves in certain ways that's going to make us feel better about our problems in ourselves.
Yeah.
So we self-diagnosing and self-treating
Definitely.
a underlying problem, but we treating it at the wrong doctor.
Maar luister gou die kwaai ding. Wat julle sê is reg, maar kyk soos julle move gaat oor die Bushi ding.
Yeah.
Which is so powerful. Because if you think about it, what does that actually mean? Bushman. Khoisan. So systemically is ons at faulty. Weet jy, ek was een keer was ek offended by 'n Zulu bra, nie omdat hy Zulu was. Because we all brothers and sisters.
Straight on.
But the fact dat hy gesê het dat julle nasie, you guys were done over the most, hit me hard. But you know, must I tell you why we were done over the most? Because we're so powerful.
And we have so much knowledge.
That's why we're so gevaarlijk at what we do.
Def is
That's
Amen.
why,
Imagine if
that's
we knew
why
our
he
roots.
can make shit that he's doing.
straight.
That's why you doing what you do. We just excel. We just can
Definitely.
just think about how a colored person, and there's no negating to any other demographic, how our nation can quickly pick up something.
Exactly. How we fast
How
runners.
quickly we can. You must remember, if you look back now, we were
Storytellers.
astronomers, storytellers. We were natural doctors already.
Definitely.
We were looking at the moon cycles.
Mm-hmm.
We were tapped in.
What everything.
So now, if you think about it, this opened my eyes when I did the movie Kratoa, and I don't want to digress. That was like my Matrix moment,
Shut up.
the Neo moment.
The awakening.
Excited that I was my awakening.
The
Yeah.
Morpheus.
My bro, kykie toe ek toe.
Hulle tak maar daai net, they shoot and the thing goes. I always wanted to be that guy.
Kykie.
Ja, let
Morpheus.
go.
En ek dink dan mis jy af toe ek die movie doen, toe moet ons nama leer.
Crazy.
You've heard it before,
That's
right?
our
Yes,
awakening.
no.
Yo, it was like the veil was
Shut
lifted
on. I
because
feel you.
the veil was lifted. Because now I had to tap in. Because with every movie that you do and every character that you do, you live in there for more than 6 months. You prepare for 3 to 6 months. You're going through your script, you're doing your character building, you are just tapping in. So you drawing,
You
getting
see,
books, you're looking at things,
yeah.
and then you start to realize, I mean,
This is how
you
it
guys
is.
probably seen this video before, right? Where this two bushman is like chasing a leopard.
Yeah. With the things hulle het ook hy goed
It's what they
aan.
done.
Chasing a
It's what the
leopard.
Bushmen used to do.
So look how powerful we are. Showing that dominion.
And we
But
all used to love like that. We were in sync with the land, the animals, everything.
But we're as much as we're so powerful, royalty,
We
and I thank you for
destroy.
that amazing introduction that you gave me, because we're all royalty. We actually so humble as well.
Too humble, if you ask me.
Too
Because we
humble.
don't know who we are.
I'd say it's
We don't
to our
know
own
our roots.
detriment. I'd say it's to our own detriment.
I
It's
think it's a beautiful thing, though. I
Would
think it's
you-
a beautiful thing.
no, like
But
let's
sometimes it could be to what it is.
let's go to that. Let's take that statement. Let's take that statement of
Grabbing by the
colored,
bushes now.
of colored humility, right? Why do we sometimes feel as though we need to dim our light? Like I get first impressions, right? You don't want to scare off someone. You don't want to come across as too aggressive. You don't want to come across as this person.
Boastful.
Yes, boastful. So, would you say that sometimes it leads to your own detriment, where you're selling yourself short?
Definitely.
Look, we must also define the two words. There's a difference between humility and timidity.
Amen.
Because of course, if you're being timid, you are playing down. So if you're gonna tell me now, like this beautiful introduction that you gave me in Sam wrote, and I say, no, I'm not that. No, that's not how you play it. Because if you're gonna go to Steve Jobs or anybody like that, and this is what I want to speak to the youth, because I had to go through so much, and I'm not saying I'm better than. I had to really tap into my mind. I had to tap into self-knowledge, psychology, to understand myself better, and then just listening to so many people, that is great. And there was this one topic that I listened to where they said, if you go to Steve Jobs and you tell Steve Jobs that you are great, he's not going to say, it's by accident.
Gonna say,
He's going to say, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And there's nothing cocky about that. That's what we have to define. And I think it's also dualistic, because we were kind of also, it's also because of the systemic suppression that we had.
And still live.
Now it's all just the psychological the image that has been distorted. But listen, like podcasts like this, that's why I wanted to connect with you guys, because I think you guys are doing amazing things. And let me
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you basically have platforms like this where they say the revolution shall be televised.
Beautiful.
And this is where the revolution shall be televised. And that's why I wanted to connect with you guys and come on here so that we can use this airwaves to touch people.
And it will planting a seed.
Yeah,
Will
we're
go a
planting
long
the seed,
way.
you know, and enlightening them in a way. So I don't know if that answers the question.
I think like sorry to say it, I think it all just
Don't be sorry.
boils.
I'm
I think
really
it
sorry.
because you wanted to say something. I think it all just boils down to also as an individual or anyone out there, self-confidence, self-esteem, etc. and stuff. And I like the fact that you said that you came on this podcast because you wanted to portray that kind of message. And funny enough, this podcast is about that.
Yeah.
It's not only about colored excellence, but it's also a podcast where we try and tend to change the narrative. Hence the guests that we keep on having on. There are people that are like yourself, in the industry as well, people that are doing good out there, because we're trying to change the narrative for whoever watches the podcast and whoever wants to engage with us.
Yeah.
See that, listen here, colors in general, Bushis in general, is not only about all the negative things that people think or portray us as.
Definitely.
As net nie van die gangsterism soos ek sê,
Yeah.
where it's drugs or 1, 2, 3, because every time you hear shooting, it's either Westbury, kyk ons is van Joburg af, either Westbury, Aldos, all of these other places. But then also there is amazing things happening within the community, and that's actually our vision and a mission, and I'm the founder of the podcast.
Come on.
So thank you so
Just
much.
bring it.
Thank you so much for
Hey,
coming
thank you, boss.
on
Thank
my
you, boss.
podcast, my brother.
Thank you, waiting for it to terug te bring.
Thank you, founder.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, my brother.
No, look,
Appreciate you.
I'm humbled, like I say, and yeah, you guys are doing gevaarlijke goedes, man.
Salutas, man.
Salutas.
Brother man, I want to explore something. So you had your start on this reality show, Coca-Cola Pop Stars.
Nice.
As you know, as a band, as Afro Z, right? Where or how do you make the jump from musician to actor?
But this is done now. Like if
Or was it always intertwined?
but
What
that's
was the
remember I said to you in the beginning when I went to go study the arts.
Yes.
I studied the arts. So my career was crazy enough, like a Tupac career.
Oh yes.
I went to a school, like you see that series that was on, that was called Fame.
That Kaylee, she wasn't born yet. Kaylee wasn't born yet.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Nog aan haar ma se kyk.
she's gonna enjoy it.
Sy
Just
kom
go
nog
Google
met
it.
you was
Yeah,
your
yeah.
TV.
I'm still youthful.
Yeah, go check it out. It's an amazing series. You can find it on YouTube. But basically, what happened in this show is there was like drama, dance, music. That was the
So it was like High School
School,
Musical
yeah.
before.
yeah.
High School
That was
Musical
like-
or a black and white.
That-
Not a black and white, but like
That was like
Art,
every
yeah.
single day. I went there to go study drama. So people do think when they saw me come into the movies, they did think to themselves probably like, nah, die bra maak nou 'n transition of maybe the music weekie.
Yeah,
But in
it's
actual
like
fact, it was my
cancer.
mother. It was my mother that motivated me again. She said, you know what? You were now also, you came to a certain place in your career where you were with Afro Z, you got nominated independently for a SAMA award. But wat gebeur met jou acting, man? Kijk, ze moeten naar jou ma luisteren, maar ze weet maar zo gaan het. En toen ik het nog, I was touring, ja, ik was in Dubai en toen ik daar geweest ben, toen map ik out en toen zei ik, nou, dit is wat ik wil doen.
As ek terugkom.
Ik wil mijn carrière basically net kind of like reinvent now in a sense.
And it's always good to reinvent yourself.
What was the
always-
what was the
Always.
biggest show?
can
You're
always-
never bound to
Evolution.
anything. Where,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever your soul feels, you can
Evolve.
express it. You can do. You can put your mind to it and your heart to it, and you can do it. You
I
can
love
achieve
that.
En as je Ernest zei wat je water op zat op place en Ernest, what was the
Wat was ze earn?
what was the biggest breakthrough for you in terms of your career? Because I heard when you said it's since 2006, ne?
2002, boss.
2002.
Je was nog in graad 1.
Right, zo vol black
Je
chicks
was
met die
in
blonde
graad
haren.
1.
What was
Cisco.
with this whole things that's been happening, as you say, the transition in terms of music, changing to acting, etc. What was the biggest, like the breakthrough for you in terms of the acting career now?
Ik denk alles is like Kratoa was ook groot. Because in Kratoa, zoals ik zei, hij was nog of course
Groot gig.
niet net die gigi, but die story itself.
Oh, okay.
The significance of it.
The significance van die story, de fact dat ik een Bushman gespeeld heb en het was een 11 mile en het was een history. Because Kratoa's history is, als jullie weet toe Jan van Riebeek hier gekomen, toen vat hij van haar in, toen zij 9 jaar oud was, als een tolk. Maar dat is ook bij je sadistic.
Big role that hoor.
Ja, sadistic, and I was her love interest.
Aww.
Yeah. And
So you compete no man Jan van Riebeck for the this
And it's a
first, we
huge
call it
role.
the first lady of
Yeah.
of Color District.
So then Kratoa, and it was the same producers that got me onto Arends Vlei, which I was also blessed to do. Because I said now I want to be in a South African series, because a series is always good for you, for your brand, you know. So people can see that longevity and kind of
The improvement in the crowd.
or just see the household, because it is also that visibility that does something, you know what I mean? So then Arends Vlei, and then now of course of late. And I mean there's a lot of in between stuff that I done there. I think a nice pivotal moment was when we were actually invited to Beijing for
Beijing, the country.
Kratoa, yeah.
Oh.
City.
Yeah, where I'm from, the streets is somewhere Beijing.
Somewhere Beijing, yeah. And yeah, so when we were invited there for the best film nomination, that was also quite humbling, because if you think about it,
Kom van
jy
ver.
check, ja, jy check die mense, jy gaan daar ook die mense gaan te veel ken, you know, en nou sien jy net al die Chinese wat vir jou skree. Is gevaarlik.
Anjan. Just
Yeah.
side, camera, Anjan.
It was exactly soos hy.
Anjan, look to side, camera.
It was crazy. Like, die red carpet wat ons opgewys het, hulle ry vir ons in met 'n stuk E-class Benz, maar is maar net 2 meters wat hulle vir ons ry. Dis nog net vir die vibe.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ambiance.
Staan daar, so you're gonna stand here. Dis daar jy
Experience.
op die side. Nou sien jy die hele movie amper so sokkeveld. Net cameras. Then they direct you, then you stand on this side, then you basically write your name on the wall, and then you walk on the carpet, the actual carpet, and
So you're not scared to
everybody's
die?
looking. Scared to die?
Yeah.
Scared to die?
Ego death.
Quick,
No,
that was
it-
random.
that happens almost every day, but
Yeah, ego death.
no, like scared to die. You see, you know all those things. Aren't you scared they take you out?
Oh, you mean like little like fear of
Yeah, fear of
security,
dying.
like you
No,
know?
like yeah, like you when you go somewhere you don't have security, something like that.
Nah, I don't think about that.
Or if you go to a shoot and whatnot.
Maar zit er-
But you mentioned something interesting.
Must I tell you what? There was, I mean, like I said, you heard how I grew up. So, you
Really
know,
used
that
to.
stuff is you kind of around it a lot. But there was one day in Spinners where they actually shot the big boss. And the irony about this is the big boss that they shot, we shooting in his house.
Shut on.
And the scene that you see us open, where we're sitting in die pantokie,
View room.
die hoe call dit, die sinkhokkie.
Dis
En
ons-
ons sit daar en hulle
ons-
kom ons daar in en sê hulle mos nou dan bring hulle vir Ethan in en dan sit ons daar, sê ons mos nou ons gaan vir die lady kry wat Down syndrome is. As jy ek ons moet nie hier.
Ah, julle het die like die mooi gemaak. joh.
Maar luister gou hierso. Daar waar ek sit. Die bullet het daar die gegaan, hulle het die baas daar geskiet. I think that's the only time I thought about it.
Oh, okay.
Because not because it was a fear that was, they actually instilled it kind of in us, because they were like, guys, the shoot is stopping for 2 weeks because we are concerned about your safety.
Shut on. So they don't know
So
who
that's the
shot.
only time. But I mean, the experiences that I've had in life,
And sometimes you get tough.
I've had people that I
Severe
lost.
bang nie.
I've had people that I lost COVID. I had the love of my life that I lost about a year ago. So when you experience stuff like that, the pain of that, it's like you
Not
like
scared
I understand
anymore.
what you're saying.
you've gone through different levels of the ego death. You know what I mean?
So
And
then coming
Definitely.
to
Some
that,
spiritual- some-
you know, coming to that,
some
that
spiritual journeys that I had to. You have to go there. You know what I mean?
you mentioned loss, you mentioned this pain, this trauma that you grow up with, that life throws at you, that your industry throws at you, right? So when you now forced to showcase that for a camera, do you feel like you're reliving those experiences? Or would you say, do you treat it as it is, as merely just a performance? Are you changed
That's a
after
good-
that?
That's a
Are
good
you?
question. That's a very good question.
Yeah, does it impact or
Nah, that's a
affect?
good question. I can tell you the spinner's role did affect me a lot because I kind of go into all my characters as method acting.
Head on.
So what that means is it's very psychological.
Everything they experienced,
Yeah.
you want to feel it bit by bit.
And not that.
'Cause it was similar to where you grew up.
You kind of right, but you kind of I'm living in that experience
What
every
it
single
could
day.
be.
You lose yourself.
The,
man.
yeah, I lose myself. The way I talk,
Mm.
what I'm consuming, what I look at, how I move, how I think, how I talk. You must remember, okay, my character, even though he's depicted as a gangster, I'm the right hand man to the right hand man.
Okay.
But in actual fact, my character was a rugby player, an ex-rugby player that injured himself when he was 19. So the character's name is Ray, but his actual name is Rayan. So I took it further because you can always character build with your characters as well. They give you the Bible. So they say,
Yes.
Ray, 29 years old, ex-rugby player, injured himself. Now the henchman, right-hand man to Hercules. Boom. Okay, so now I look at it now, I think, okay, cool, I like that. I can tap into the athletic part. Okay, the gangster part. I can put myself in the world because my friends and the people that I was associated with. You know what I mean? And then I add on things. Then I'm like, okay, cool. So Rayan, how we got to, yeah, I build the character
From
exactly.
your life also.
Kind of, but I just now I add things that is not there. So I think to myself, how did he become a gangster? Okay, cool. So he hurt himself when he was 19. He was a rugby player, so he was injured. So then he went to Damien, the boss, and said, "Kiki, ik need kroon. Ik need a job.
The dollar.
Ja, ik need a kroon." Boom. So as hy moes inko, 'n gangster, wat doen sy? Sy moet nou iemand uithaal.
Yeah, you need to prove yourself.
Ja, so
at
nou
one
moet jy iemand
point.
uithaal en dan soet ek die top henchman gebekom, the muscle. So then I add things, okay, cool, so I impregnated my girl when I was 19, where I had to get married. I was kicked out of the house, that's why I had to, and this is my
Get out.
character, that's why I say I now.
This is
I-
you
I
building-
embody
you
it.
building your character now.
So then I say I had to take care of my wife because you get married very young, Mus,
Yes.
when it happens. It's a forced marriage, and
Muslims now.
yeah,
Nikah.
and then you have to now get, you have to take care of your family, so you need to go be a man. So then I was like, again I say my character, sorry, I then had to go do what I have to do.
Yeah.
So I stayed in this long, and because I was an ex-rugby player, I weighed about, on a norm, 80, 82 kgs, but I had to pick up, because a fly half is about 88 kgs. So I had to pick up 88 kgs. So,
Want jy eet
toe start ek nou
in-
weer
Papa.
gets, toe start ek nou weer gets nou, soos elke dag. Alles wat ek eet is net dirty. The way ek move, the way ek praat, alles wat ek doen. You know what I
No
mean?
one eye.
Ek body die move.
Don't tell me you really went to go and impregnate someone.
Nah, luckily not.
I think with acting, like you said, if you're going to
Can't
acting and
do
they
it.
give you a character, and then you need to at one point be that character in order for people to, not only to like you, but to make it believable, etc. and stuff. You need to get to a point where you're that actual person. So on a daily, you say like 6 months, 3 months, you go through your script,
And then I
etc.
couldn't almost come out of it.
That's also the other thing that I'm scared. Remember what happened to that one actor overseas? I don't think it's Johnny Depp, but it's the one I think the Joker. I just don't know his real name.
Heath Ledger.
Yes, he did.
Something like that. Have you read that story about that
that's
guy?
Deep. That's deep psychology.
Yes.
That's deep.
Wadelinthecreative was part
And-
of
and I
that
can-
character, then
and
he
I can
couldn't get out of
understand.
that character anymore.
Because you must remember, psychology is most everything is habitual, meaning habits. So now say like kind of impregnate your mind. Heel tyd man, nou glo jy dit.
Yeah, you
En nou
believe
daar
it.
as dit swaam uit te kom, but then you have to tap out and go into your kind of rituals or your habitual things that you do to kind of tap out of it, because it is a psychological thing whether you like,
Coming to
whether
that,
you like it or not.
coming to that, like I take my hat off to the fact that you put this much devotion
Yeah.
into building your character, into extending on this Bible, into almost defining this character's biography, right? But I had a discussion with our director Wadelinthecreative at length that I feel sometimes that method acting can get a bit dangerous.
That's what ons moet nou sê. Ja.
Yeah,
Where
that
do you
was
draw the
insane.
line?
Shit.
Where, like, say for instance, I'm playing a heroin addict, and I decide, oh, okay, cool.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna-
continue playing this for
No,
the
no,
rest
I
of my
don't
life.
say. I don't say you like literally start
Even
shooting
off
up.
camera.
There are ways of getting into character of relating.
Yeah.
I start taking mild opiates, and then before I know it, I'm a full blown
Draggy.
yes, not full blown drug, but like habitual user, and eventually
Yeah.
it's hard to come out. So
Yeah.
You know, see, sorry, man. You know, they take
I think it's the same
actors
thing when I just said,
yeah,
man.
it's the same thing. They
It's the
take
same
actors actually. I don't know, do they still do it? They take her for therapy. In therapy, in like after,
Because
because
my eie therapy.
yeah, your own therapy, or you go see someone for counseling kind of type of thing. Especially when you play these big roles
Yeah.
that you played and stuff. Because remember, realistically, half of the things that you've played, like in movies and soaps as well, it's reality if you look at it. With the shooting and the killing.
I think I
etc.
understand what you in that philosophy of self therapy.
Yeah, self therapy. They
Like-
actually go and educate you to say that.
No,
Get
no, I
out
mean,
of that
no,
space.
No, I mean, no. I'm not talking about
I wanna
doing
be John Wick.
consulting us. No, I'm literally talking about sitting with yourself and saying, man up,
Shadow work.
man up.
Now, for example, when it comes to us now, you are the best in what you do. That's why the people they choose you for
Yes,
that role.
yeah.
Do you understand what I'm
Amen.
saying?
Thank you.
You took the time to be that character. The work they don't know about, the things you had to deal with they don't know about. So when it comes to that of competing for a role, do you understand? Like, okay, they asked us for a role. Okay, now it's up to us to prove that we want that role. Do you understand? Not that we want a role, but we are there for that. Do you understand what I'm saying? For example, most now life. You understand what I'm saying? So you doing what you do, you seeing now, okay, this person that I am competing for the role, hulle doen aan wat ek doen. Okay, yes, they're doing it in their way, do you understand? And I understand this is a place for us to collab on our talents and our things. It's not a competition, but I want that role. That's my role, do you understand? What if, how do you deal with it in the, how can I say, in the acting community when it comes to,
Going for audition.
not auditions, but like standing in your place, like standing in your, not in your character, but in
Like your confidence.
yes,
Yeah.
because you're going to be
I like your
challenged.
question.
Man vang man staan.
You're going to be challenged.
Very
There's
done
people
and
going
laugh.
to want your position. So how do you deal
Stand
with
firmly. How do you? It's.
You know what?
It's a valid question.
Yeah, that's an amazing question. You know what? I think it's like this, man. I always like I'm an MMA fighter as well. You know, I do martial arts. It's always respect your
Can't you
opponent.
kick that guy there?
Yeah.
Start him just what the. Oh,
So
see.
you always respect your opponent
Sometimes they
because-
think you're weak, though. Do you understand?
because no, and why I say respect is also like this. If I don't respect you, I can't learn from you, and that's what blocks you.
Yeah.
And it's like I must know. Okay, cool.
That's how
He's
the
doing what
sea
he
is.
is doing, and he's doing it great in what he's doing. So I can learn and tap into that, even though I'm
Yes.
not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, I think that's just my psychology that I've created over the years. So when I step
Definitely.
into the audition room to answer you, I go in there with that. I say, okay, cool. And you must know it is
Learn
heavy
from the
hitters. There is
greatest.
heavy hitters that's gonna be there. Like when we did Spinners, a lot of the guys that was auditioning I saw on the day, I think the guy from the other crew, the main guy, was there that day. Maurice Page also auditioned. He
For
did-
your role
I was
or
just saying.
Now you don't know
Maurice
also
Page.
who
Give
the-
him a
What are you
Page.
going to
You don't know what the
audition
audition
for?
was. But op the einde
Calvin
van die
from Mr. Dingoman.
Calvin from Easy Dingo.
I do not watch TV.
That's fine. So anyway, so coming back to answering you is, sy gaat daarin met die confidence om te weet dat what I'm going to bring,
They
they can't bring.
can't.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
it
that's,
is
and
like
that's your
that.
experience. It's just
True.
naturally.
We learn from each other and all that. But I don't know. I've never dealt with this in the industry because I'm not yet in the industry that deep. But I would love to go into acting. I think
Yeah,
my
you
parents
will.
always encourage me also because they Say I'm a drama queen from small.
Nee, before maar bij deze.
Fuck you.
Perform over it.
Before bij deze laten we recorden en dan zal het deels doen, bro. En dan komt het je monoloog.
Fuck you.
Als hij zo voelt, dan doen het.
Ik ga.
Because you've got the confidence, you've got the personality, and it's all about confidence and personality.
What's
Thanks.
the...
And confidence first. So you've got
Ja, die is een diva diva.
Thank you.
If you know I'm a
You must do
diva.
it. So my answer is, you step in there. There's always gonna be, and there's always heavy hitters. There's gonna be guys that has been doing it maybe now 20 years longer than me. But I look at them and I also nod my head and I show them the respect.
You also great.
but
I feel
go
like
in there,
mhm. And you give your best.
and I just.
And
go
if
and kill
God
it.
blesses you, your opponent should respect it.
Yeah. Look,
And they can't want to be in your shoes now. You
fake
can't
it.
be jealous.
You can't fake it because the cameras is gonna resonate with it. The people's gonna resonate. So when you step in there and you auditioning, that director that's looking at you,
It's going to feel different.
they're gonna feel it. And that's all that I'm worried about. Like, and actually, I don't also even think about that. I just think about, am I truthful to what I'm doing now when I audition?
True.
Ek verloor myself. Ek is seker worried van wie daar is ek.
That's
Ek is
true.
ek 'n daler.
So it's just you
so
going
true.
into that zone where
It's a zone.
where it's almost though nothing else exists.
Except you and your
But-
purpose.
To bring everything right back while we're getting to the end of this, I just want to know from your side, Ernest St. Clair, why or what do you say to a little lighty in Lotus River that sees you, that's inspired by you, saw the moves, studies the moves? How do you shortcut? How do you, or rather, what is the formula for success? How do you create another Ernest St. Clair?
Sit die ding in die lug.
Aish!
I think it's like I said, be truthful to yourself, man. Know your worth. That's what I want to say to the
So
lady.
hard die langse mens sluk diep.
That's what I want to say to the lady.
Be truthful to yourself, Kaylee.
Amen.
Be confident. Daai goed is wat ek nog gesê het. Kyk, in ons community ons het ook so baie different elements wat vir ons influence. Jou environment, wat jou ma en jou pa sê, jy kan nie doen nie.
What you watch.
Wat jou chommy sê, jy kan nie doen nie. Wat op die einde van die dag, sy moet so gefocus wees. Soos hulle sê, sy moet delusional.
On yourself.
Sy moet delusional wees. En wat ek bedoel is, as die hele wêreld teen
Teen
jou
jou
is,
is. You
dan
must
sal
trust in
jy
yourself.
altyd glo.
Believe in your own bullshit.
Straight.
Believe in your own
You have to
bullshit.
be delusional.
Straight.
To
You have
be.
to be delusional.
Straight.
And what it means is because dat is wat baie mense agterhof en hulle ding hulle self, oh my
What
ma,
they
my
gonna
pa
think?
het gesê, wat gaan, that's a big thing. That is a big thing. Wat gaan ding as ek dit gaan doen, gaan hulle nie meer van my grey nie. My broer, niemand betaal jou rente, ek sê altyd.
Daar's hy.
Tot die tyd wat iemand, die persoon my rent gaat betaal en die goede wat ek moet op 'n daily basis, as ek hier, joh, ek is hier fucking worried van niemand dink.
Straight.
Ek is moeg gesê vir die laities, it's baie simpel. Believe in God actually firstly, the Almighty.
Number one.
Believe in the Almighty.
The Almighty like it as in fluky.
Yeah.
Believe in God.
God first.
Believe in God.
The infinite.
Amen.
You know what I mean? The confidence that you need to have in yourself.
Confidence.
Be delusional.
Delusional.
And then
Believing
every
in God.
single day, focus on what it is you want to be. It might change. Soos ek wil maybe in die Navy gewees het, ek wil maybe 'n fireman gewees het op
Martial arts.
So we have a 4-step process on how to create another
Greatness.
Ernest St. Clair. But
See, before you continue, my brother, I'm tired of being delusional. But he's black work as delusional.
Ja, verstaan jy wat ek bedoel?
it's just a matter of you need to stand so firm.
He's delusional.
But like you said, you need to have the belief in God that directs and guides our
Amen.
life. By all means, hy is van selfspreken.
Ja.
His second step was the confidence. So you can't have delusion without confidence.
Yeah.
Van dan gaan mense sê jy's mal.
It's very,
Maar
very mal, I think. 'Cause you're not
delusion
applying
with confidence
So ek is
is
mal.
genius. So
No,
jy's-
you're applying action. If you apply action, then it's no more delusion.
Zeg maar hulle sê, dis jou podcast, wat praat hulle?
Ja,
Daar
tel
sê-
eens ek is mal en dis my podcast.
Daar sê,
Maak sy kroon.
sit die podcast in die
Jullie
lug,
podcast.
sit die kroon in die lug.
Ek wil nie praat
in die lug.
Sit die kroon in die lug.
Net hoe hulle
Kan jy
meeting
ooit-
het na die.
Wat
Guys,
Ek wil nie praat voor hulle net hoe hulle meeting het na
Hulle sê,
die.
kom in man. Wat is dit met die kroon?
net om vraag, waar's my bonus, Dimpie?
Sorry my kort te knip man.
Is
Sorry,
er
see, I know we
ek-
concluding. What's the next step and what's the next thing for you? Especially now that you say you're in Joburg as well. What is the next move? Okay, I know you're going home after this most probably. But I mean career wise.
Yeah, I'm definitely working on more music.
But
Yeah, and I've got my own production company.
Oh,
Own production
follow
company.
me.
I've always been in music production, so now I'm going into creative directing as just a multimedia producer.
oh, okay.
And what that means is I creative direct with my production company.
How do I become part of that company? Dat ek sommer nou,
Yeah.
dat ek sommer nou uitvind
Ek
ek.
like guy man.
Almal sit ons CV's as.
Ja, ek drop myne
Ek
nou.
moet nou vir julle klaar in die skrip. Waar gaan ek vir julle sit teen die skrip en ook 'n cool teen 'n kotie in. Okay, hy's die loser en ek sit.
Ja.
Nee, my character Bible, ek soek net biomeris. Biomeris.
Wat 'n nyash.
Yes, Nash.
Maar jy nie getrouwd
Een
is.
stroppole en alles.
Yes,
Sien jy kom sê ek fuck you man.
yes.
Nou, ek gaan vir jou sê ek soek net een vrou, bro.
Een vrou.
So my brother,
By
like on a
station.
serious on a serious note, I'm really interested. I've done already some
Yeah, no, for
productions,
sure,
movies and stuff like it. So I just want to find out. But
Where
we'll
will I
talk.
put my CV?
Ja, maar ons sal praat na die show.
Definitely.
En goed sê so op my CV insit. So jy het
Ja.
gehoor, jy het gehoor hy
So
sê
you
ek moet
run
dit
a
bring.
school?
I would love to do that stuff. I was thinking about. I've been proposed to do that. I'm now Look, we first started with vertical format content. So the company is called Ancient Mass Media. You can-
Ancient mess.
Ancient Mass Media, because I wanted indigenous. 'Cause
Yeah,
tapping
ancient-
into the
Real
voice and
on,
design.
Yeah.
real on.
But then I was like, okay, cool. We are ancients, so we coming with that mentality.
Bring
then
it
I said,
back.
Ancient Mass Media. So like I said, we started with vertical format content, social influences, filming influences and stuff. I was working with some influencers here when I came up, and then I'm working with brands, hospitality brands, travel companies, hotels, and now I'm going into documentaries. Sorry to cut you in.
No.
And I'm also now I'm working on screenplays. I pitched to a nice distribution company the other day. So I've been going to some conferences.
gaan met die
for
man
3
huis
years.
toe.
My last question.
Go for it, Kaylee.
Do you feel like you need to water yourself down in the industry? Okay, obviously not. But like I mean
What does
around
that mean,
certain
though?
people. You can't talk about certain things.
Like
Because
what?
no,
Like what is a
anything.
certain
Certain topics like for certain environments, you know, people have certain topics they say you can and can't talk about. You understand what I'm saying? So maybe when it comes to the knowledge you have and things like that, like for instance, the coisins and things like that. And some people they don't want you to talk about
Jy
things
gaan
like
praat.
that. Straight. Okay.
I think because
Just I'm asking, are you afraid to die?
no, I'm not. Because at the end of the day, for me, is if I feel it's the purpose. If it's the purpose that you have to
God is
bring that across. That's my. And it's
Light
weird that you
bearer.
ask that, because I feel that is my purpose. I'm like an actor, but I'm an activist at the same time.
No, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Actor,
So yeah.
activist, and man of action.
Wow.
Best thing that I can say
Man
is
of God.
thank you
Salute.
for gracing us with your presence. Thank you for gracing us with your
Plezier,
insight.
dankie, baie dankie.
And thank you
Salute.
for showcasing Bushi excellence. Because yeah, this podcast,
Thank you,
All the
Ernest.
blessings to you guys.
yeah, this podcast, Ernest, we have a saying,
Yes, yeah.
and that is we are not bougie.
Come on.
We
We are
Bushi.
Bushi.
Salute.